Hello, hope you're doing well and welcome to my Smite 2 Hecate guide. Hecate? 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 I'll just cycle between them to avoid making anyone mad. Hecate is one of Smite's newest magical damage dealers and an incredible addition to the battlefield, and today I will teach you absolutely everything you need to know before picking her up. Hecate joins the battleground as a ranged magical damage dealer boasting outstanding AoE damage alongside unparalleled utility and CC, not often seen in her class. This is, however, balanced by her limited defense and lack of mobility. This guide will go over not only how to play, but how to build Hecate in order to maximize her strengths and lesser her weaknesses. Note that I'll be posting guides for all of Smite 2's characters, so make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on more Smite 2 content. I've also linked my Discord server down in the description. If you have any questions or want to join a friendly, toxic-free Smite community, then our Discord server is the perfect place for you. Now let's get started by diving into Hecate's abilities. Hecate's passive is called Mystic Ritual. This passive gives her two key interactions. When Hecate interacts with an allied structure, such as a tower or a phoenix, she creates a regeneration zone that restores health and mana for herself and her teammates. When Hecate interacts with an ally who has just secured a kill, both she and her ally will receive a temporary boost in strength and intelligence. This passive is incredibly versatile. In the laning phase, it helps you sustain by using your tower's regeneration zone, and in the mid and late game, it rewards team coordination by empowering you and your allies after securing a kill. Making sure to take advantage of the passive whenever possible, especially during sieges and teamfights, is imperative to playing Hecate efficiently. Her first ability is Triplicate Form. Hecate fires a projectile that passes through enemy minions and gods, dealing damage to anything in its path. This ability alternates between Power Form and Hex Form on each activation. Power Form marks enemies hit, causing them to take bonus magical damage when they are damaged by gods, and Hex Form mesmerizes the enemy's hit. This ability is very powerful, granting you your main source of damage and wave clear. Power Form is great for setting up kills and amplifying your team's damage, while Hex Form provides crowd control that can disrupt enemies or set up combos. You should level and max this ability first. Next, we have Spell Eater, Hecate's second ability. This ability creates a sigil that charges whenever gods cast abilities in its radius. You can reactivate it to deal massive magical damage to all enemies in a target location. The more abilities cast in the sigil zone, the higher the damage output. The trick to Spell Eater is timing and placement. Use it in chaotic teamfights where abilities are flying everywhere, or in choke points where enemies are grouped up. Detonating a fully charged sigil can easily turn the tide of a fight. This ability also excels at securing objectives such as the Gold Fury and Fire Giant. Place it down and your team will naturally charge up the sigil, and at full charge serves as unparalleled secure. Her third ability, Repel Magic, is a fantastic defensive and utility tool. Hecate shields herself or an ally, absorbing magical damage and dealing damage to nearby enemies when cast. Activating this ability also increases your movement speed and grants 3 charges to your Spell Eater's sigil. This ability is excellent for peeling, protecting squishier teammates, or enabling you to escape dangerous situations. It can also be used offensively as a close range damage by casting it on yourself, or long range AoE damage by casting it on an ally on the front lines. Pairing it with Spell Eater is a great way to prep for burst damage while staying safe. And finally, Hecate's ultimate, Open the Gates. Open the Gates is a playmaker's dream. When cast, Hecate opens 2 portals that deal massive damage as well as stun and displace enemy gods caught in the area, teleporting them between the portals. Hecate and her allies can also interact with the portals and teleport between them. This ultimate is all about map control and mobility. Use it to throw the enemy team into chaos, trap squishy backliners, or create an instant escape for your team. The displacement effect can completely ruin the enemy team's positioning, and the damage ensures that it is impactful even if they escape. Now that you understand Hecate's abilities, let's talk about how to use them together. For most situations, your primary combo will start with Spell Eater into Triplicate Form. Hex Form will mesmerize the enemy, guaranteeing you hit Spell Eater's reactivation damage, while Power Form will deal bonus damage to enemies hit by the reactivation of Spell Eater. If you find yourself at close range, throwing in Repel Magic before reactivating Spell Eater will allow you to charge the sigil further, resulting in higher burst damage. In team fights, you'll want to pair Open the Gates with all of your other abilities. Start by placing Spell Eater in the middle of a team fight, then use Open the Gates to displace enemies into the sigil or away from key objectives. Weave in Triplicate Form to keep enemies either marked or mesmerized, and finish with a charged sigil detonation. Again, if at close range, make sure you throw in your third ability, Repel Magic, for extra damage. A defensive combo could involve using Repel Magic to shield an ally or yourself, giving you mobility or repositioning. While retreating, use Hex form to mesmerize pursuing enemies and make your escape easier. Using your ult to teleport enemies away from you or to teleport yourself to safety. Hecate's abilities follow a trend of having both offensive and defensive qualities. The key to mastering Hecate is knowing when to play offensively versus defensively. If you want to see these combos in action, check out my channel as I've posted some Hecate gameplay videos that you might find helpful. Now you know what Hecate does and how to use her abilities efficiently. Let's talk about where you'll be playing Hecate. Hecate shines brightest in the mid lane, where she can leverage her high burst damage, reliable wave clear, and team utility. Her ability to control fights with Open the Gates and provide sustain with Mystic Ritual makes her an excellent choice for this role. As a support, Hecate can disrupt enemies and protect teammates with Repel Magic and Hex form. Her portals can save teammates or trap enemies, giving her unique utility. However, she lacks the tankiness of traditional supports, so you'll need to build accordingly and play cautiously. Hecate struggles in the solo lane, ADC, and jungle role due to her lack of defenses, lack of mobility, lack of substantial sustain, and non-existent auto attack synergy. So stick to mid lane and support for best results. I can't give you an exact build for Hecate, as items in Smite 2 often go through changes, get buffed, nerfed, fall in and out of the meta, and just sometimes are completely changed entirely, but I can tell you which stats to prioritize and suggest some core items. For mid lane, focus on intelligence to boost your ability damage and mana sustain. Items like Book of Thoth, Doom Orb, and Rod of Tahuti are excellent picks. Cooldown reduction is also key for Hecate to spam her abilities, so aim for about 40 to 60% cooldown reduction. Gem of Focus, Chronos Pendant, and Soul Gem are all great options to help you reach that goal. You'll also want a healthy mix of penetration to cut through enemy defenses. Items like Rod of Tahuti, Obsidian Shard, and Totem of Death are all items that not only offer penetration, but also other stats that you may be looking for. Now moving on, if you're playing Hecate in the support role, you'll want to focus heavily on protections of both kinds alongside a heavy amount of cooldown reduction. Your main strength in support is your utility and CC. Cooldown reduction will push this strength to the foreground, allowing you to spam your abilities, while protections will ensure that you live long enough to consistently use your strength to assist the team. Gauntlet of Thebes and Prophetic Cloak are must-have items for supports, offering strong defensive stats for both you and your teammates. Breastplate of Valor and Genji's Guard allow you to kill two birds with one stone, as they grant both the protections you'll need while throwing in heavy cooldown reduction. Items like Amanita's Charm and Talisman of Purification are good choices, adding on to your already high utility. Now remember that these items are just suggestions, as they depend on your situation. Furthermore, like I mentioned, items are often nerfed and buffed, falling in and out of the meta, so take this section with a grain of salt. That being said, the stats themselves are consistent, so it doesn't really matter what item you buy as long as you focus on the stats listed. If you want completed builds, feel free to join the Discord server where I or other community members can help you with your builds or any other questions you may have. And as I mentioned, if you just want some non-toxic friends to play Smite 1 or Smite 2 with, our Discord server is a perfect place for you. With that out of the way, let me give you some tips and tricks that will assist you the next time you decide to play Hecate. First, use Open the Gates creatively. You can separate enemies from their team, trap squishy gods, or create an instant escape for your allies. Placement is everything with this ability. Second, maximize Spell Eater by placing the sigil in areas where enemies are grouped up, such as the jungle choke points or objectives such as Fire Giant or Gold Fury, and detonate it at the right time for maximum impact. Thirdly, and very important, always interact with structures and allies to make the most of Mystic Ritual. The extra sustain and stat boost can make a huge difference during extended sieges or fights. Remember, this not only boosts yours, but also your allies' strength and intelligence for quite a long time. Finally, and arguably most importantly, mind your positioning. Positioning is imperative to any mid laner, and that stands true for Hecate. You'll want to stand in the back where you can offer maximum impact to these team fights, whether it be offering utility to the team, CCing the enemy team, or dealing an impressive amount of damage. That's it for my Hecate guide. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Smite 2 content. Don't forget to join my Discord for tips, questions, and just hanging out with other Smite players. And finally, follow me on Twitch to watch live gameplay and ask questions directly. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found the video helpful, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye!